This is the dinner recipe when you only have one gluten-free person in your family and you need to appease all. It is on the table in less than 25 minutes and it requires 0 brain cells. I'm going to show you how to make it. So it starts in the skillet. It calls for 1.5 pounds of ground beef. You can adjust that depending on the size of your family. So I have a larger family, so I will even do up to 2 pounds here, but if you're feeding less, you can go to a pound of ground beef. This also makes a great freezer meal or like a meal train meal, so sometimes I'll double the recipe to stretch it. So once the meat is browned, you can drain it at this point. If you have higher fat ground beef, you might want to drain some of the grease off. Mine's a little lean, so I'm just going to leave it in there for flavor. Then we're going to add the seasonings. So 1 cup of salsa, any salsa you want. If you want to go mild, medium, hot, whatever floats your boat. This is the only ingredient you need to watch out for a gluten-free dinner. Some brands are gluten-free. I like El Paso because it says right here, gluten-free, very clear. Or you can make your own taco seasoning. I have a recipe that I will link to right below for homemade taco seasoning. Then you know, no questions, it is totally gluten-free. So 1 packet of taco seasoning and then a 1/2 cup of water. Just stir that all together and we're going to let it simmer for about 5 minutes to reduce. So after the 5 minutes, I like to add a little creaminess to the base of this. So I add 3 ounces of softened cream cheese to this. Now that's optional, but it does make it more delicious. You can also do sour cream. I would do maybe like 1/3 cup. Just kind of like melds everything together with the cheese that we're gonna add on top. It's real nice. So stir that together until it's nice and smooth, and then we are done with the bottom layer. For the baking dish, I have an 11 by 7 inch baking dish. If you're gonna do more ground beef, I would suggest a 9 by 13 pan or an 8 by 8 if you're only doing a pound of it. So we're just gonna pour this beef mixture in here. Then once the beef mixture's in here, then we add the walking taco part, the Fritos. These are gluten-free. I have in the recipe 3 cups, but you know what? If you add more Fritos, it's not gonna hurt nobody. So just sprinkle those on top. Okay, last part. Then we just sprinkle on some cheese. I have 1.5 cups. I highly recommend using freshly grated cheese, but you could use any type of cheese you like. I have Colby Jack here. You could do cheddar cheese, pepper jack. You can do Monterey Jack, anything you prefer. I just like freshly grated cheese because it melts a little bit gooier and more of those like oozy cheese that you want on top of chips for sure. Then once the cheese is on, the last part is 5 to 10 minutes in a 375 oven just to melt the cheese. The meat's already hot, so we don't need to warm that up. And to serve while you're doing that, you can get your toppings together. We like to do shredded lettuce, you could do avocado, you could do more salsa, sour cream. Get all that prepped while this is baking so you're ready to rock as soon as it comes out. Honestly, this is so easy. You could do it for a weeknight, but if you are a make-ahead freezer meal person, you can also do this as a freezer meal. I would leave off the cheese, just do the beef mixture, the Fritos, wrap it up, freeze it. Once it's heated through, then you would sprinkle the cheese on to serve. I have a lot more easy gluten-free dinner recipes on my website. Check out that link below, and I will see you in the next video.